Year 7 of our journey here with the Oakland Athletics is about to begin. Welcome back, everybody, to the Oakland A's franchise. It is spring training as we begin a brand new year, coming off of a very successful Year 6 that saw us make the postseason for the first time and go all the way to the ALCS, losing in 6 games to the eventual champion Tampa Bay Rays. We have rebuilt the A's and now are in pursuit of a championship, bringing glory back to the Bay Area. Joe Michael enters this year as the face of the franchise, having won the Cy Young last season in his 3rd Major League season. And today, we're going to see how this pitching rotation comes together around him, because that's where we have seen the greatest deal of change going into this year. Oddly enough, we didn't lose anybody on offense. Franmil Reyes was our only free agent, and we retained him after giving him a nice raise, and we brought in Royce Lewis to be really good depth, a platoon player, a just-in-case player. He upgrades a bench that was already looking promising with players such as Miguel Cabrera, who now has a solid year of experience. But at pitcher, we do lose Michael Soroka to our rivals over in Seattle. He was our ace for a couple years until Joe Michael's ascension brought him to his current status. So in replacing Soroka, we now look at a team that features 2 new starting pitchers in Cole Phillips and Cam Cope. We did get to see Phillips towards the end of last year, but he has still only made 15 career starts. So we really don't know if he's going to be an answer, and an even greater question mark is the 2nd pick of the entire series, going all the way back to the Year 1 draft, 2023, when we selected Cam Cope. And he is getting a chance today to show what he can do in spring training. And that's what I like to do here in the spring. We're going to focus on position battles, new players, and solidifying the roster. So you're probably not going to see me swing the bat too much because we don't have anybody new to really swing with other than Royce Lewis. Along with these 2 new starters, we're trying to fill out a bullpen that now has to try and replace Jhoan Duran. We brought in Jordan Romano and Penn Murphy, and I'm expecting Murphy to immediately step in as the closer after saving 99 games over the last 2 years for our rivals over in Seattle. I do think this bullpen could come together, but there are a number of question marks across the board, and we'll just have to see how these players perform. And I might be willing to make things even more interesting, adding 1 more player to the 40-man roster in Doug Romero. He has played pretty well at AAA. He's 22 years old, and I'd like to see him get a chance. He's a C potential player, so he's probably at his ceiling, and it would be good to know if that ceiling is useful for us here at the big league level. And I have seen a lot of feedback here to tweak the batting stance for Yusniel Cruz. Now, when players come into my series, I tend to keep their animations roughly what they are, just because it's part of their personality. And if they come in with an interesting stance or something off default, I don't want to change it dramatically, but sometimes I want to alter things. And I kind of like just really going down one here, making this more upright and getting a little movement in here. I think this would be a solid animation change for Yusniel Cruz. Maybe I bring in that left leg a little bit, because that's quite open. And Creator allows you to do that quite easily. So I kind of like the idea of making this a little bit more upright, keeping it, just adjusting the stance, really, and getting it a little bit more to our liking. And as we sim through the spring training, I want to do a better job of mixing up the lineups and primarily the pitching so we can get everybody a fair amount of innings and just get more sample to compare some guys. And here is Cole Phillips making his 2nd appearance of spring training, and it looks like he's already given up a little damage in his 1 inning of play. But I have liked a lot of just like the eye test, I guess, with him. Like, there's been some really solid moments, and overall, he has the making, I think, of being a solid starting pitcher. But we don't know enough about him yet, so We got a fastball here in the mid-90s. Change up and slider off of it. Ahead of Santana. Gets the chopper on to third base. Arraez makes the play. Yeah, I see Guerrero's at second base. I got to make a couple changes here to the defense. Ooh, 95, and behind it is Luis Guillorme. Hung that one out in front. And a good fastball up in the zone as he gets the strikeout on 4 pitches. And now facing Josh Rojas. Accuracy feels really good. Really good control of all of his pitches. Right there to Guerrero and a 1-2-3 start here for Cole Phillips. Now, we're not going to swing a lot today. However, I got to see Yusniel Cruz with this new swing, right? Let's see if we like the change that we made here. Cruz hit 6 homers as a rookie. He contributed as a playoff starter. And now it's time to get ready for his first full year. This is a good first impression, man. He looks to have a very violent swing and stance. Kind of an ugly swing there, a little late on it, but I feel like that's going to get a little bit better feedback. And now we face Bobby Witt with Cole Phillips as he hangs a slider. We're going to get away with it as Don is under for the out. Diamond fielding there in center field. And hoping that as the year progresses, just more time for Don, more time for Cruz, that defensively, the outfield just gets tighter and tighter, and we can start to make some plays with these guys' arms, at least maybe save a couple runs here or there. Maybe we're not making as many plays as we are just not letting them run on certain opportunities just because they have those weak arms, or they're not accurate enough with them. In there to Kirk to get things full here, and we're going to go back to that slider here, 3-2, and get the chopper. Out number 2. Pitching to Orlando Arcia. It's a 1-2 count, and Phillips just off. Nice changeup, and that command continues to impress through the second inning. We brought over Royce Lewis, who is not coming off a very good year, but he's played better offensively in the past. And you can put him pretty much anywhere but pitcher or catcher. So Royce Lewis upgrading this team's bench. He's got some power in there, still hit 14 home runs last season, just very inefficiently. Has good speed, plays good defense. Not really elite in any category here, but he can give you above average defense with above average speed pretty much anywhere on the field. That has a lot of value. Ah, come on. Stop pitching me inside. I'm not ready for it. So we'll go 3 innings here with Phillips, and so far, so good. Outman chasing one out of the zone. And let's go back to that high fastball. Nicely done. He's got that swing and miss fastball. It's not too overpowering. That's one of the things I've noticed, though, is a lot of swings and misses for a guy who doesn't have elite velocity. Not getting a call there kind of hurts. It's a 3-1 count, and not chasing is Taylor Trammell, as it's a walk and brings up Dom Smith. A little bit over the plate that time. Ooh, he does not go, and Smith works this count full. Let's go fastball then. Right where it needs to be, getting the ground ball, and that should be 2. That's 3 pretty good innings there for Cole Phillips. Not bad. Let's go back to Yusniel Cruz. I got to get a good rip here out of this stance. I like that it's not a dramatic change from his last one. It's just really tweaked. Got that little leg kick there. We'll see if that's the animation I want for it, but the stance, this works for me. Nothing close so far in this at-bat. 3-0. Ooh, out in front. Count now full. 3-2. It is a base hit to left. So there's a look at this sweet new swing with a sharply hit single. This is the first full year of Yusniel Cruz, and I can't wait. Here it is from this angle now. So if you got any feedback on the stance, let me know. And it wouldn't hurt to get a couple more swings in here, all right? Robert Puason actually put together a good season last year. And I forget his option situation, but if he's out of options, we're looking at either having to put him on the bench or probably trading him, unless he were to make the cut. But that would mean, you know, he'd have to basically play over Muncy, who has proven more at this point. We do have some really good depth in a lot of areas, and you just can't keep everybody. We're going to make a move here as well. I still haven't given up on Luis Estrella, guys. I can't. He tore his ACL again last year. He's still a power speed threat. It's worth having him at AAA. Here he is. We all got our players in our franchises that we got a soft spot for. We give them so many chances. Estrella's that guy. Although I think time is running out. He's got to prove something. Let's get Gregorio Uribe into the game now. And he too must have had a bad first inning of spring. The main thing with him back in the postseason was his command wasn't quite good enough, and he left a lot over the plate that batters were able to take advantage of. And our attempts to, you know, get these lefty-lefty matchups against the Rays really didn't go our way. They handled it really well. Uribe had a chance to close out one of those games. He had a save situation and could not get out of it. I think that was maybe the third loss we had to the Rays, as that's past the diving Puason. That one is in there. We are ahead right now of Luis Guillorme. Off the plate, though, with the sinker. And now working full. Trying to take advantage of this lefty-lefty at bat. And he gets the jam grounder. Lewis starts it, double play. The way I have our bullpen set up right now, just because we're going to simulate a lot of these games, I have Uribe in one of those main long relief spots where they tend to like constantly put guys into the game because I want him to have a lot of innings. I want to really know what his role is going into opening day. I know I rushed things along last year, but I want to see how ready he is. And he's going to get 3 outs here on 2 ground balls. Let's move ahead to the 8th inning, and this is a look at Jordan Romano, who comes over from the the Toronto Blue Jays. As we look to get this bullpen fixed up after losing Joan Duran to the Giants, we bring in Romano and Murphy and hope that with 2 pitchers, you know, we might not have the elite, well, we might have an elite closer because Murphy played that way last year. But really taking that money and putting it into 2 pitchers instead of 1. And Romano just can't get a call. The way I think this could play out, nice. Oh, that's a double play. I thought he caught it, but I was going to go through the motions anyway. Watch this again. I think he might have. The game probably knows he didn't catch it, but it still looked from that angle like he did catch that on the fly. So I think Romano opens probably, hopefully in that setup role. Definitely a high leverage reliever. Probably battling with a guy like Jonathan Hernandez for that role. And then Murphy, you saved 99 games in 2 years. You're going to walk into that role here immediately, and it's your job to lose at that point. Good slider, but Outman not biting. Let's see if we can go backdoor here. Out of the zone. And that backdoor slider feels like it works about 7% of the time. And that one time it hits will keep you trying because it looks so cool. And it's like a really tough pitch to handle. But man, it never works. Little bit wild here. Oops, I didn't want to throw this. I'm used to X being fastball for most pitchers, but with Romano, it's his slider. 3-0 and a strike. There we go. He'll get batters to chase. And 3-2. He got him looking. What can we expect from Miguel Cabrera this year? I still think he's going to be coming off the bench. The outfield is pretty crowded. We have a lot of good players there. And he's going to bounce this one through for an 8th inning single. I think we're pretty lucky to have our bench set up the way that we do. We have so many good quality players there that could grow into future stars. Just trying to see if I can get us a lead here and maybe get a save opportunity. We got Aaron Dawn in the 9 spot. Going the other way and lifting the first out. Well, I guess I got a hit with Cruz again. We got Cabrera looking for a chance to run. Strike at the knees. Ooh, I just want to swing at everything right now with him. In this stance, it's just a stance you're going to feel confident swinging with. Y'all know exactly what I mean when I say that, too. 1-2 from Beck Way. Got to fight that off. Not trying to give him anything elevated right now. Another 1-2. There's one out to left field. Driven back, and it's going to be a double play because I am a fool. But we're going to see a change anyway, and that's going to be Penn Murphy. He was the 2028 reliever of the year. Can he do it again with us? Lewis at third base. Across, out number 1. Throws a sinker in addition to a slider and a fastball. And Passon gobbling this one up and flashing some style points at the same time. We got 2 quick ones here. And now Austin Charles. Good slider away. Can't help myself with those right-on-right sliders. By him at 90. Not even really approaching the speed limit here with that pitch. I think he went. He did. It's strike 3, and it's a flawless inning for Penn Murphy. I know it's spring training, man, but when I see a chance to walk one off here, I want to go for it. Robert Passon. Should this game continue, though, we'll have Elliott Hughes pitch the 10th, and we'll talk about him a little bit. Ooh, Passon. That was a good one to drive. And that is gently lifted behind third base, and out number 1. Let's see Estrella do something big here, man. I need a victory with this guy for sure. I'm not going to cut the guy, but I think as a power speed threat, you got to stay patient. If he sits there at AAA and one day there's an injury or something and he can come up and at least come off the bench as a pinch runner, I mean, that's a role that a lot of guys have had careers with, and it's one I've always thought possible for him, you know? Terrence Gore never hit above like 120 or something, but he played a long time, was a good pinch runner. And then you got guys like Billy Hamilton. I want Estrella to do that, but you can't do it on a torn ACL. All right, continuing to get a look at all these new pitchers, we have Elliott Hughes, the 27-year-old, who has 90 potential. However, he's only a 70. So you tell me how he gets to his potential with this timeline and everything. It's not going to be easy. But we might get a look at him this year. He's certainly going to be at AAA as perhaps one of the top starting pitchers there. Hammered to right, sending Cabrera back, and this should advance the extra inning ghost runner to third base. And now, can you get the out without the run scoring? Ooh, that might do it. Jammed into shallow right, and Cabrera won't be tested. Dribbled it. Lewis, long throw, got him. Not bad. Let's see if we can go win this thing now against Miguel Castro. Tyler Soderstrom's going to be here at the dish. I don't have to do these at-bats, but I want to win this. And it's in the air, lifted down the line and right, and tracked down. Will advance the runner. And they bring the infield in for Trey Sweeney. Let's go. Couldn't end it there. He's pitching really well, though, on this outside corner. He did that in the previous at-bat. Ahead now of Sweeney. Got him. All right, it's up to Royce Lewis then with 2 down as the infield goes back to their regular depth. It's the new guy. And it gets past the catcher. On his way home, he's out by a mile. Get out of here. Hughes continues then. And that one's going to probably score a run. Let's see Don Firehome, though. That is a lot more respectable. So a run scores here, top 11. And here is Outman. What I like here with Hughes is this 5-pitch mix. Got a slurve in there, a hanging sinker, not my favorite pitch to throw. But for sure, the 1-2 slurve. How about a strikeout on the change? Not bad. Facing Taylor Trammell. It is a 2-2 count. Going change up away, and Trammell blasts it foul over the hot dog stand. 2-2. There's a strike 3 looking. Could not get the double play, though, with the runner advancing. And that was the slurve right on the outside corner. A filthy pitch from Hughes. And, you know, given Hughes' potential, I do think sometimes you've got to go a little bit off of, some standard strategies when you're using players. He is 27 years old with 90 potential. That alone is a good enough reason to consider, the starting rotation. I know we don't have a spot for him right now, but if we wait around, he's never going to reach the potential. If we put him in and he happens to play well as a 70, he's got a chance to maybe get into the 80s as he approaches his 30s or something. Because if he has a chance to be that good, he needs the opportunity. So could there be a spot in the bullpen for him as a multi-inning arm? We'll see. Elliot Hughes, though, one of those guys we have to actually consider. Now we're going to face a pitcher I tried to sign in the offseason. That is Ron Marinaccio, who took less money to go to Kansas City. Royce Lewis, the batter. And I can't stop waving at these changeups. Marinaccio taking advantage of over-aggressiveness. 0-2, and he should have punched me out right there. Whatever, we strike out anyway. Man, I just cannot lay off that changeup. All right, we lay off one low for once. That one we waited a bit too long. And it's going to be out number 2. Aaron Dawn now. It's all on him. Dawn is going to have a chance to beat this out, but he is out by a step, and the Royals win it 1-0. So a mediocre showing for our offense in this game, but I feel like a really positive showing for a number of pitchers who have a chance to break through with new roles. And we're going to continue getting some more looks at them. Here is the box score, though. No earned runs. Everybody really came out of this looking pretty good overall. I'd just like to point out that right now, the Colorado Rockies are perfect at 12-0 in the Cactus League. And Vinny Gomez has hit 6 home runs in 33 at-bats. That's ridiculous. We move ahead a couple weeks and we'll play another one here against Cleveland as Cruz rips one off the shortstop's glove and he will reach. That might be an error. Oh, it's a base hit. They're going to give him that one. Sweet. Yusniel Cruz. And now he's going to take off and probably have to go back. Moving forward a couple ABs. Luis Estrella, 2 on, 2 down. Yup, he's hitting 143 and he's out there right now. He's got 2 aboard. Uh-oh. 3rd round pick back in 2023. Got him. Strike 3. But as I skip a couple weeks at a time, it gives us a chance to get guys more appearances. Cam Cope now 7 innings into the spring training, and he's so far posted very good numbers. We'll see how he does against this Cleveland lineup that could threaten him with a bunt here early on, but not here yet. Ooh, he thought about bunting this time and it hit him. That's your fault. 2-2, Cam Cope, he will strike him out. I think my favorite pitch right now with Cam is that changeup. And the style of play he has is very reminiscent of a guy like Michael Soroka, who's probably not going to get too many strikeouts, but he thrives off of good control, keeping the ball in the ballpark and just limiting hard contact. His potential is only an 80, and he's a 79 overall, so he's not really a high ceiling pitcher, but this is a role that I think he can fill in this rotation and give us some quality innings this year. And if he picks up strikeouts, it's all a bonus. Oh yeah, that's right. They signed Ronald Acuna Jr., so he's in the American League now, and that should have been a home run. I'm not sure I'm feeling, though, the yellow cleats with the ankle or the shin guard like that. 2-2 from Cope, and that ball is smoked to left. Cruz going back. He's got it. Good changeup in there to Sean Murphy. Braves have lost everybody in this series, it seems. They lost Strider and Acuna this year. Had to spend some money to go and fill those roles. Now 2 strikes on Murphy. Good pitch to threaten on the inside edge. And what's his go-to pitch here when we go 3-2? Soderstrom wanted the fastball that time, and now he's going to call for another one on the outside corner. But it misses low. Tyler Freeman now, and not getting much here around the bottom edge. We'll keep trying. Better. One of our first little jams, though, to pitch around, it looks like today, is that's lifted for Don and on the hands. And that is out number 1. Good changeup there and already ahead. What's his out pitch here when he's 0-2? How does he go and try to get that strikeout? Sweeper off the plate. 2-seamer, and that's grounded to a rise as we continue to get double play balls, but Sweeney botches the transfer. It's spring training, we got stuff to clean up, and now runners at the corners. Base hit, of course, a run will score. That's the way it works, right? Have that tailor-made double play, and actually it looks like 2 runs are going to score. And this is down the line and should score at least another one. 3-0 Cleveland on a sharp single there by Max Wagner. So a little trouble here for Cam Cope. Coming back, though. 2 strikes on the next batter. The 0-2 big breaker that stayed up, but will wrap up the inning. And Yusniel Cruz steps in with a 214 average here in the spring. Not having a terrific start, but facing the lefty. Lodolo and nearly down the line. Little aggressive here on the early pitches. And now waiting for the next good pitch. We get 3 out of the zone, and we're looking for something to drive. Right field and lined in for a base hit. Let's get Max Muncy in there for an at-bat. He's been very solid for us. Feel like we have 13 or 14 guys that could start, and it's a good problem to have when our bench is as good as it is. You do risk hurting certain guys' development, but I do feel like the roster will probably start to transition a little bit after this year. You look at Arise now entering a contract year, Miguel Vargas entering a contract year. Things are going to fall into place, I think, pretty naturally the way the team is built. Getting a hold of this one here. Muncy to center field, but he flies out. Cruz goes. No chance. That was a very slow attempt. The batter is Ivan Melendez. 3-0. Under this one, he just popped it up. Got a pitch inside and can't do nothing with it. Cope gives up a 2-run homer here in the 4th inning, so this is not going to be a very clean day for him. And we're going to get ahead to our next pitcher we're going to use today, and that is going to be Andre Palante, who was a late addition in the trade deadline season last year. And he was kind of a one-year wonder. You know, we're just trading for a hot hand to see if he could give us another good middle relief option, and his success didn't really carry over to the new team. So it's a fresh year, and we're looking to see if he can earn a solid middle relief role, and the spring has treated him well to this point. He's got a big breaking ball. That's kind of the combination here. You go fastball, curveball. Big old break. I mean, it's fun to throw. Oh, come on. Throw one that well, you hope it gets you the out. 3-2. There's a sharp one to Vargas. Ronald Acuna Jr. And out in front of the breaking ball. Palante gets a second out. Keston Hiura over the top. Gotta say, this is so far a solid showing for Palante. He's got a lot of movement here, and I think he has a skill set that complements a lot of our other players because he's unique. Big breaking ball, frozen. Maybe he's going to play for us this year. We're going to pitch again here with Jordan Romano in a 4-run game, and it's a base hit given up on his first pitch. There we go. Good two-seamer here at 97. 0-2. Buried the slider underneath. Couldn't get a swing. And then strikes out Baddoo. That one is going to probably just be one on a slow chopper. 2 gone here in the 7th. And here is Aaron Schunk. Nasty slider there from Romano. A good one there for strike 2. Now we're going to change things up to strike him out on 3 pitches. Excellent inning. Giving up a few more runs in this one, though. Some of those ERAs are about to inflate. Let's get on to our next game here as we drop this one to Cleveland. And the pitching wasn't so smooth. Cam Cope gives up 5 runs over 4 innings. He only strikes out a couple. So now he's got 11 innings under his belt, and Cole Phillips has 13.2. And Phillips has given up a 1.6 whip, Cam Cope a 0.9. Seeing good numbers here for the top 3 guys. We're not really worried about them. I'm trying to get Uribe innings. I'm just going to throw him in the rotation probably because I don't need to pitch these guys a ton. Yeah, the Rockies are 13-1. Are they rebuilt too? Imagine the Rockies are super nasty now this year. That'd be awesome. We're going to get into this one, though. I want to get Elliott Hughes a chance to start today. So hopefully get a few innings in with him. I'll probably change the rotation back to what it should be with like the final week. But right now, I'm just trying to get certain guys playing time and going to manipulate the rotation and line up the best I can. But Hughes is one of those guys. He's got the high ceiling, and we're in need of someone to break out. So for sure, I'm thinking about him in the starting rotation right now. It's under consideration. Cam Cope is there too. Who's ready, though, when the games begin here out of spring? Kind of all over the place here to the leadoff man, Julio Anaya. 3-2. That's better, but a base hit to left field. Ooh, gotta give him that one, man. 1-1. Runner goes, and he'll go back. The 2-strike pitch, way out there, the slurve. If that doesn't work, you can also try these 2-strike changes. Gotta get it down. There we go, but a good piece of hitting as he hits it the other way. And then it's Vinny Gomez, the star of the Rockies now in this franchise. Fastball is in. He is your 2026 Rookie of the Year. Held back on the changeup. That was close. Vinny Gomez almost going yard. It's 2-2. 3-2 now with Hughes getting into early trouble. Needs a good pitch here. And he got a chase. Try again. That's going to left, and Knowles makes the play. And the runner will advance to third. I think it's kind of challenging to think about how stable our play will be from last year to this season. No doubt we should have a good offense, the way things have progressed, and the fact that, you know, is Don done developing? Probably not. How about Yusniel Cruz? Definitely not. But the pitching. We got where we were last year because of the combo of our offense and the pitching. And now that pitching is a huge question mark, both bullpen and at least 2/5 of the starting rotation. 2-2. Just can't get a punch out here. Hughes 24 pitches in. He's only recorded a single out. But pops up Rogers. And he's got it. Austin Gillian, the star catcher, former #1 overall pick. Left field, Knowles running into the corner, makes the catch. It's a rocky first inning, but no runs come across. And that used up a lot of his energy, so it might be more of a 3-inning outing. Oh, Corbin Carroll's here as well. So they develop a couple stars, go and sign Carroll, although his ratings aren't like superstar-like in this series. Hughes could certainly use a 2-pitch out. There's a good slurve to start things off. 30th pitch. Hung it, and that's turned on and belted. It will reach the fence. It is a 1-out double. Facing a Dale Amador. A 1-2 count. Got him with a fastball. Put that in the perfect spot. And that's a line drive that ends the inning. Vargas, good backhand, and makes the throw for a quick out here in the third. Man, we're just not getting a lot on this corner, though, unfortunately. Warming Burnable, 2-0. Over the top of that changeup as he keeps it in the strike zone. Hughes up top, misses with the fastball. And the slurve doesn't save the at-bat, so a third inning walk. And here is Vinny Gomez, your spring training MVP. Nasty stuff there to get the strike. And now let's see if that changeup delivers. Not that time. Better pitch, but no swing. And just not much confidence in the sinker and two-seamer. We're a little bit limited. Popped him up. And Guerrero gets there. Hoping for a quick one here against Brendan Rodgers. It's an 0-2 count. Got him! Good fastball. He can put it in the tough spots, that's for sure. So it hasn't been like a super clean outing here for Hughes, but he's made good pitches with runners on. So let's go bring in Palante again, because that last outing was so good with him, and he's been pretty much flawless to start. And he's going to have to face some lefties here that could give him a fair challenge. So we open against Austin Gilliland. Go with that fastball to get the quick strike. It's all about how do you get ahead so you can start spamming those curveballs. And two fastballs get us there. So the big breakers are on the way. That one misses wide. The 1-2 is a slider in the zone, but Guerrero makes the play. Then you get Corbin Carroll up next. And almost on the corner from Palante. There's a 95-mile-per-hour fastball as the count goes even on Corbin Carroll. Palante, big hanger, and he's under it. Got away with that one for sure. There's just so much break. His curveball is filthy. In this at-bat, 2-2. Trying to bury the slider, and that's not where you want it. Both pitches do have a lot of break. We're going to go back to the 12-6 now, and got him to chase it. Facing three lefties, Palante stays perfect. What about Jackie Sechrist? Let's get him into the game here and talk about him a little bit, because he's also been developing really nicely. And so far, I think he has 7 good innings in the spring. I'm trying to get a look at all the stats here. Where do they hide some of this stuff in game? He's already in, so it's tough. But Jackie Sechrist had a very dominant year at AAA last season. This one is over the head of Carlson, and he won't get there as it bangs off the wall. Leadoff double. With Sechrist, you're getting a cutter, mid-90s fastball, changeup, and a sinker. And a 2-strike count here on the 9-hitter. Sechrist cuts too far inside. Ooh, you can't throw it a lot better. 3-2, and getting the pop-up on a really good cutter. Nice job. Really enjoying getting a look at all these pitchers, though. I feel like we've had a lot of good moments. Seeing more good than bad. What do you think so far? Let me know who's impressing you down in the comments section. I was used to throwing to second base. Wasn't expecting a third base steal. 0-2. Popped him up again. A theme we're seeing today is tough pitching inside, and that's getting a lot of pop-ups. Trying to leave that runner over at third base. Good pitch by Sechrist. Out in front of that one, 0-2. And now that right-on-right cutter. Devastating, strike 3. We're going to insert Cam Cope here in the 6th inning. And he will immediately face the Rockies' best hitter in Vinny Gomez. That is a smoker, right to Miguel Vargas. Actually, it was only 83 off the bat, but tough line drive regardless. Rogers' turn now. 3-time Gold Glove Award winner. Not bad. Cope gets the weak ground ball. Arise attacking. Out number 2. This is actually a really good game to get into just because I think you get a lot of quality opponents here with this Rockies revamped offense. There's some real danger in this lineup, man. But we're falling behind the catcher here, Austin Gilliland. Get the freebie there for strike 1. Ooh, that thing broke a mile. But couldn't clip the corner. Corbin Carroll. Popped up, will reach the seats. And a tough one. Sweeney can't knock it down. Those ones are always a challenge when you dive over the top like that. I'm never sure if I should dive or if we can just get there naturally. Hard to make that judgment. Vargas knocks it down. Will it prevent the run from scoring? Barely. I think he might have been able to get home on that ball. But the bases are suddenly loaded here for a Dale Amador. And it's going into right field for a base hit. Carroll speeding around third. It's a 2-run single. That might get dumped down the line. It's foul, though. 1 and 2. No, not there. Tough fastball, though, to strike him out. Started so strong there for Hughes, and then just could not get that last out. Another hit given up here in the 7th off the bat of Polkovich. Little bit elevated there from Cope. Getting a 1-2 count. You know, the fastball's been pretty good, I think, for his strikeouts. He has command of it. Not a huge swing and miss guy. Doesn't really have that, like, slider or anything that gets a lot of swings and misses. He'll mess around with that sweeper a little bit, but the fastball seems to be the best weapon there with 2 strikes. Use the changeup to help us get there, and let's see if we can attack inside again. Sure enough. So that'll take us to the end of this game then, getting a deeper look at a couple guys. Let's go check out some numbers now. 20 games into spring training. How are some of these pitchers performing? Well, here are your inning leaders, and Logan Gilbert's thrown 22 pretty solid innings so far. Cole Phillips, 18 2/3, giving up a 1.6 whip. Not great. Cam Cope, 3.5 ERA, 1.17 whip. We've seen him get into trouble and how he can navigate around it at times. Does have 13 strikeouts. Joe Michael, not much to analyze with him. We know he's a Cy Young winner. Alfonso Montes, I have not pitched with him today, but we do have some experience seeing him. He's got a chance. Kendrick Haynes, 15 strikeouts in 12 innings is very solid. Waldachuk, he's got a solid role. Elliott Hughes, a little bit high on the whip, but overall, numbers don't look bad for him either. Palante, 8 2/3 innings, and he's yet to give up a single run. He's been unhittable. Ricky Griggs has been very solid. Jackie Sechrist, he does have the elevated ERA allowed, along with Gregorio Uribe, who I know has given up a high batting average to both sides of the plate. And the way he's pitching right here, there's a good chance he actually opens at AAA instead. Because we have a lot of guys that I think are pushing for a chance to make this 26-man roster. And I've been pretty impressed overall with the staff as a whole. We are going to make a move here, it looks like, with the Cincinnati Reds. Gunnar Hoagland is not going to make our roster this year, but I'd like to trade him somewhere where he might get a chance to break through as a starter, and the Reds could use this opportunity. And we're going to be acquiring a player here, a 23-year-old first baseman who's a minor league player. It is Mac Martin, who has some really good power against lefties, and I'd love to have a little bit more power to develop here in this organization. He's a lower potential guy at C potential, but there's enough here that I'm really interested in, so we're going to make that move. Probably going to get a jump start, though, on some of these roster cuts, the more obvious ones. So I'm going to send Ryan Clifford down to AAA. Same with Luis Estrella, who actually might go down to AA instead. Tough one, though, is going to be Robert Puason, because he's out of options now. 77 overall. That's like, I think, right on the edge of where you might be able to pass a guy through waivers. He's good enough to be on a big league bench, but I don't know if he can make our bench. With Lewis there and Max Muncy, I don't know if there's a spot. All right, we're going to get into another one here, and I wanted to get one more look at Gregorio Uribe before I consider sending him down. 5 2/3 innings, not a lot of time here, but just hasn't had those outings that build the confidence yet. Is it a little too early? Perhaps. He's already had one of his options used up, though, so this would be number 2, as he gives up a sharp left-on-left single. Ernest Reyes is the batter. And on the hands and ahead of him, 0-2. Good changeup on the outside corner. Runner takes off now, and that just broke up a double play. Wow. 1st and 3rd, one gone now off of that fluky play. Anthony Santander. Uribe trying to pitch around the trouble. Good pitch. And a sharp base hit down the line. Santander delivering. 1 run scores. They'll send home the second runner, and Sweeney nails him at the plate. But that'll be another earned run given to Gregorio Uribe. Oh, now pitch to Shohei. Outside a sinker. Shohei not having the best spring to this point. Got him there. Fastball. And the 1-2. Strike 3 on Ohtani. We're going to see Uribe here go multiple innings. Kevin Alcantara is the batter. Out in front to go 0-2. And that ball is crushed deep to left. Cruz going back, and it's gone. I don't think Gregorio Uribe is quite ready yet. He will be ready, I think, eventually. But here at 72 overall, I think he needs a little bit more time. They just put an update here. Like, sometimes they tell you, like, you know, so-and-so is a 2-time Gold Glover or whatever. They just told me Dansby Swanson was the 2023 All-Star Game MVP. Like, the game keeps track of that. why I can't get enough of the show. Runner goes. Soderstrom nailed him. Easy. That helps out Uribe a little bit. Probably his last batter here he'll face in the spring, Peyton Henry. Try to end here on a good note. Lifted left center, and Cruz eyes it. And tracks it down. It's impossible, though, to not be impressed with what Andre Pallante has done here in this spring. With 10 innings under his belt, he has not allowed a single run, and he's only struck out 6. Like, clearly, he's just getting weak contact, and hitters aren't doing much. We're going to see if the streak can continue. Pallante gets unlucky on a call. I think with this bullpen, you know, outside of Ashby, it's like, how do we set up the, like, hierarchy the rest of the way? We have a lot of guys we don't know much about, some new faces, some new prospects, and it's hard to say who should get, like, those high-leverage innings or what role exactly. The veterans are going to take priority with the setup and closing role, but otherwise we're going to figure it out as we go, and it looks like Pallante might be finding himself into a fair amount of work early on. Yusniel Cruz, though, botches the pop fly. And his defense is just going to have to grow throughout the year. We know there are going to be growing pains, but it's a long season. I'm sure he'll get better from April to September. Pallante, though, he's going to pick him up here. Double play! 2 strikes on Nico Horner. You know what's coming here. Pallante. And it's 11 scoreless frames. But I do think that we could see Alfonso Montez possibly make this 26-man roster. His play has been pretty good. Would like to see some more strikeouts, though. Only 5 in 17 innings. Righties have given him a little bit of a challenge, too. Montez, 97 and in there. Think we're going to have a tough time setting this 26-man here. Some good problems to have. A lot of good performances. Not too many negative ones here in the spring. Ooh, that is smoke to left. Base hit Santander. And if Uribe is not going to make this opening day roster, we're going to probably want another lefty. And that's where Montez could sneak in. I was looking at the numbers as well here for who is one of our lefty specialists here, Ricky Griggs, and he's given up a 3.04 to righties, so I think he's going to stay a specialist here going into the season. 2-1 to Shohei. That's right to Arise and should be 2. And that's a strikeout here for Montez on 3 pitches. All right, we take this one to the end as well to get through another one. We have just a couple games to go here in the spring, but I think that we have mostly seen what we need to see today. We end spring training with a 14-13 record, and overall, we hit the 5th best in terms of batting average, and Zach Geloff hit .440. In terms of runs scored, 7th. So a very good offense. A lot of extra base hits, lots of runs. We weren't great in terms of homers and still put up good numbers. I'm happy with that. And then we go to the pitching. And the team ERA ends up landing at number 10. Had a couple guys not even allow a run. Marshall Lerma and Andre Pallante. And how about hits allowed? We're looking at a little bit below average there. Runs allowed, we gave up about average at 15. And homers allowed, that was tied for 16th. So kind of an average pitching performance all around. And Joe Michael, maybe wasn't at his best, a 5.19 ERA, but there's nothing to analyze there. Elliott Hughes, 7.24 ERA at 2.05 WHIP. I was hoping to see if he could surprise us here, but did not appear to be quite ready at this stage. Cole Phillips, a 5.7 ERA with a 1.92 WHIP. And Cam Cope ended up getting 18 innings. His numbers are a little more reasonable. So the starting rotation, right now we're going to put in Waldichuk and get our top three in there. We're going to start Elliott Hughes down at AAA this year in the rotation. I might put Uribe down at AA and hopefully get him off to a strong start after this showing. Then you got some more standard releases here like Melendez, Jose Cedeno, guys who aren't going to be on our bench right now. Definitely some tough calls, though, we're going to have to make here in a couple of minutes. Marshall Lerma, he did perform well, but we're not looking to have him up at the bigs at the moment. He'll have to pass through waivers. Jackie Sechrist had his struggles, so he's not making it. And this one's going to be tough here, but I'm going to try sending Landon Sims down to AAA through waivers. I know it might not work. All right, our next cut here is going to be somebody who did start some playoff games for us. It will be Deshaun Knowles, who was just okay here in the spring. But we're going to keep Cabrera here as a backup outfielder. Lewis can play everything. And Knowles is going to start the year at AAA. And there's not really a spot yet for Robert Puason. 77 overall. That's the same overall as Max Muncy. I think I might try to send him through waivers. I know it's probably not likely. If I trade him, then I for sure lose him. If I waive him and lose him, I get nothing. I mean, if it's revocable waivers, then I could maybe rescind and then trade. We're going to try to pass him through. And then, despite an outstanding spring, I'm not sure there's a spot right now for Geloff. His defense is solid. Muncy, though, unless we just wanted to send Muncy down to get AAA reps to develop a little bit, that wouldn't be the worst idea, because he has been on the bench. Let's do that. This isn't really a typical demotion for a guy like Max Muncy, but he's a guy who has options and really should get some playing time. So, Zach Geloff, welcome back to the active roster. He and Lewis are the backup infielders, Cabrera backup outfielder, and then Daniel Susac. So it looks like we're going to start our rotation this year the way I had lined it out going into spring training today. Phillips didn't have the best performance. We'll see how he plays early on. And after a few starts, we can always reevaluate. The bullpen's going to have Aaron Ashby, Jonathan Hernandez, Kendrick Haynes, Ricky Griggs, Alfonso Montes, Jordan Romano, Andre Palante, and the closer is Penn Murphy. So now we advance to the regular season, and we open against the Chicago White Sox this year, and we're at home the first two series of the season. Here's the waiver wire, by the way. A lot of names on here. A lot of, high 70, low 80 overall players. This is pretty interesting. Simeon Woods Richardson, Twins kind of giving up on him. That's Frank Mazzucato, who shut us down for 6 innings in a playoff game last year. He has no big league experience, and he did that. Makes that game look even worse. Wow, Joe Adell got waived. Remember how many times I've thought about trying to acquire him as depth? I don't have a spot on the 26-man roster for him, though. That's the issue. I'd love to have him at AAA, but I don't think I can get him there. The only thing I could think of here is you try to stash one of our pitchers like Cope down at AAA and you claim somebody and just see what happens. It's kind of a reckless way of doing business here, but it's an option. Kumar Rocker, not coming off a great year last season with the Rangers, but he was waived. Caleb Killian. Looks like he pitched 30 innings in 28, but Not keeping him around. This lineup is ridiculous. I don't know if I want to hit Yusniel Cruz 9th, but it's like none of these players are a typical like 9 hitter. All of these guys I think are more projected into like top 6 of a batting order. And we got more than we can handle here. Some good problems to have on this team. A lot of good players, and I cannot wait to see how things come together this season. How about this lineup we can throw up against lefties, where you go Vargas, and then Arise, and then go Reyes, Guerrero, Cruz. Like, these 3 big righty bats in a row. I just can't wait to face a lefty with this team. So for sure, I want to go through this next season a lot faster, and I want to hopefully put episodes up at a good pace and move in a way to where things aren't going so slowly. So I'm trying to think of what to do for the opening day episodes still. Like, typically I just play opening day and there isn't a whole lot else. I'm wondering if I'm better off maybe switching up the format here, because it's just one game, and maybe we do things a little bit different here. Maybe like an opening day player lock, or finish out the last few innings. I don't know. If you have any feedback, let me know. But I am ready to get this new season underway. The A's have been rebuilt as far as I'm concerned. And now I'm excited to see if we can keep them at the top of this division and continue to compete for a championship, and how much better this ride can get. It's going to be a fun season, everybody. I am looking forward to getting things started here once again. And I'm hoping to have a fun year 7. I'll be looking forward to your feedback after posting this one. Thank you all for the support in this series. Please leave a like and subscribe, and there is more A's franchise on the way. Have a great day, everybody. Take care.